All right. Well, welcome everyone. It is the beginning of season 3 of our Owatonna Wrestling Weekly Podcast. I'm head coach Derek Johnson, and by my side is freestyle Greco director and Owatonna Middle School coach and captain's practice facilitator, Coach Gabe Hovden. Welcome.
Hello.
Yeah, we have a legacy going on as far as on this panel. Your dad kicked us off. For about a season and a half, you hopped in, and yeah, I'm sure we're going to see him a little later this season too. I know he's chomping at the bit as well, but yeah, we thought, you know what, let's start this off before the season actually begins. But speaking of starting us off, our first thank you we would like to do as the OWA is out to Summer Media Solutions. That's the new name, formerly Areography. Mr. Scott Summer does so much for us. Anytime you see those hype videos, anytime you see basically anything go out that's more than just a photo into Owatonna Wrestling Association's Facebook page, our Instagram, YouTube, anything like that, that is Mr. Summer, including this podcast, both the audio and visual. So,
and I'll say, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be... There's no idea. I know how to plug this mic in, and that's about it.
And he did a good job today.
Yeah, he did. It works. Everybody can hear me, I think.
Right. Yep. So, yeah, we want to say thank you to him. And basically, so he's located in Owatonna. He is, if you don't know what this is, drone photography has really taken off in the last 5-10 years. And so he does great work as far as going over golf courses. Anytime you see those extravagant, what looks like it would be taken from a helicopter videos of real estate, anything like that. He's FAA Part 107 certified and commercially insured. And really, though, he does everything across all media. It's not just limited to video or photo. Are you looking for a new video to promote your storefront, showcase a new product? And I can tell you from firsthand experience, heck, we were just here shooting stuff yesterday that's going to hit YouTube and everything like that soon with the wrestlers. It is so great to work with someone like that who he knows exactly, you just kind of need to give a suggestion of like, hey, I want something to kind of look like this. And he's got, ideas, 12 different options. Yep. Yeah. And the creativity and everything like that. So he loves to collaborate and work with you, but at the same time, like he's that expertise that you need too. Yeah. So thank you, Summer Media Solutions. I keep looking over at him.
Yep.
Recent name change, Summer Media Solutions. Mr. Scott Summer. Thank you, sir. But yeah, so we're a week away from the high school season starting.
Yep. Let's dive right in.
Let's do it. So we have of our 2 seniors this year, 2 returning seniors, Grant Lauer is the captain. Captain Lauer, you might be familiar with him being in absolutely every scrum on our football team. So he's starting nose tackle as well as a guard on the O-line.
Okay.
He's gotten some, last year he took 4th. It should have been third. He got kind of jobbed on a call against Mayo. But right there, really close to being a state qualifier last year, and thinking about how far he's come. And he started his freshman year. So that was year 3 of him wrestling at all.
Yep.
And, he was kind of upsetting people left and right. He, he's a full 285. Last year is kind of like he did a complete body transformation from being a little softer into all of a sudden just being a behemoth. And then this year he added to the muscle part of it. So now he's back up to like a 275, I bet.
Okay.
But one of those 275s where it's just strongman style,
And he's probably got some cardio to go with it. He's not the typical 275, which a lot of people think when they hear 275 kid. No, he's a big boy.
Yeah, and very athletic. He's not slow in our sprints or anything like that. I don't know how tall he is. I'm just going to guess and say 7'3".
A lot taller than us.
Yeah, a lot taller. Anybody over 5'8" to me is just a giant. So yes, he's a giant. But yeah, and on top of everything though, the primary reason we talked about him being a captain is just who he is as a person. So straight A student, incredibly good sport, a great leader, We're trying to get more of the vocal out of him. He's kind of coming out of his shell socially, but has always led by example. And now on top of it, is demonstrating a lot of those leadership qualities, being vocal as well. So kind of a no-brainer for us. It's a nice luxury to have kids like that in our program. Yeah. And I just want to thank his parents, Nick and Jess. You've raised a fine young Thor. So yeah, he's got the long flowing locks too. You'll see. But then as far as returning state qualifiers, so we have 8 of them. Starting off with 8th grader Caden Lindquist at 106, and he was busy this offseason. Yeah,
he was busy from what I seen at freestyle tournaments. He's been at a couple tournaments where I was at. I know he was at practice a lot, hitting practices up in the cities. I didn't see him out at nationals, but he was at the state tournament. Okay. It was good to see him out. Keep these kids out there wrestling. And then as we go through them, when the next kid comes up, I got a little more on him from what I seen.
Well, and so last year too, I mean, he was a 7th grader and he weighed all of like 94 pounds soaking wet, which is the minimum for 106 last year. So he's automatically giving up an easy 12 pounds, if not more.
If not more, because kids are cutting.
Right. All season long, wins the section title, was a little fortunate in some of the in how our section played out, just with some suspensions and stuff like that. But either way, would have placed top 2, would have qualified for state no matter what. And now this year he's walking around, it sounds like 108, 109, which is great. The weight class bump from 106 to 107. So we need all of that. That's all we were really hoping for, was he was going to be able to fill out that first weight class, and should end up being the section favorite.
Okay. Well, good. I mean, he's put in the time. I know that.
Yeah. Really hard work.
He's been at every captain's practice, working hard there. So that's what I got on him.
Good deal. And then we have Donovan Sorensen, returning junior and section runner-up last year at 114. He's floating around the mid 120, mid to high 120s right now. How's he been looking? What's he been up to?
I know he's been practicing a lot. He goes up to the Pinnacle this summer. He went to freestyle tournaments. Not necessarily excelled at them, but he was there learning.
Sure.
I think the confidence at the freestyle was just a little off for him. I know he can do 100 times better than what he did. But he put the time in. He was there. He tried. I mean, and not every freestyle is not always about winning. Right. In my book, do you want to win? Yes. But as long as you're learning and you're learning positioning and figuring out different styles of wrestling.
Absolutely.
So I know he put in the time this summer. I see him all the time at the gym. He's in there. Sometimes, Donnie, you need to, lift some more weights than talk, but then when he is lifting, he's lifting hard.
Yep.
So,
for those of you that don't know his personality, he is, man, he chirps. If you're watching like football games, he is the wide receiver or corner of our team, where it's just constant, like, he talks a lot of trash.
Yep. He's the linebacker. But he's entertaining. Yes. Yeah. He's like the linebacker, just constantly chirping at the quarterback, doing stuff like that.
Exactly.
He'll tell you what he wants to do. It's just now you got to put in the time he's put in the time. Now it's just time to do it.
This is the best he's ever looked too, coming in at the beginning of the season. He's don't let him hear this, but he does look jacked.
Yeah.
I don't want that to go to his head, but he does.
You know it's going to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he looks ready. He looks ready. And then we have returning section champion, Mr. Lane Carlson, 2-time state qualifier. He's probably going to end up in the 127, 133 range as a junior. And man, I don't want to, steal your thunder or step on your touchdown or anything like that, but he has been such a leader this off season. So what's been going on?
Just a leader in general. I mean, I know he's been living in the gym.
Yep.
He's been to camps when he can. I mean, I know he did lacrosse and he's been doing lacrosse, but he doesn't miss a practice. Mm-hmm. He did have to miss one. But he actually called me on it and said, "Hey, I'm at my sister's section meet. I kind of got to go watch her. I got to go watch her swim or dive. Yeah. I don't. What? But it was the swim and dive team. So he's like, "Yeah, I got to go." Like,
that's a good brother.
That's fine. Your sister's tagged along with you to, everything you've
I'm sure
done.
she's sick of wrestling. Yeah.
Exactly. So, but I know he's been living in the gym. Great leader, future.
Yeah.
With that kid, he's gonna be a force to reckon with this year, I think.
He is. You know, just a little kind of behind the scenes. I don't think he would mind me sharing this at all, but you know, he was already B+, A- wrestler as far as effort, kind of everything. But about midway through last season, just kind of talked to him about like, my greatest fear is that you're only going to be this good. Mm-hmm. That next step to be great. Do you want to be good or do you want to be great? And suddenly, you know, the extra time in the room, he goes out and in the section finals knocks off number 2 in the state from Faribault. And you could just tell it all kind of clicked at the same time where he bought in a way where you know, there's a confidence factor, but then there's the real belief that you're going to do great things. And it was kind of a turning point of, I am good.
Yep.
But
I was just
going to say, can you be more, you know?
Yeah, so he realized that he is good and that he can excel at it.
Yeah. Yep. So that was great. And then Mr. Trey Hyatt, section champion from last year, only a sophomore. And so he was one round away from placing at 132 as a freshman last year, which is really tough. How's he been looking?
At the captain's practice, the whole workout thing, he's looking good.
Yeah.
He's at practices. There's another one. It's we got a little section in our team that I've seen at captain. I haven't seen the big guys at practice because they've been playing football, so I have no idea on the big guys. But these I can't really call them little guys anymore. Yeah. But the smaller weights, he's got a motor on him. He's in shape already.
Honestly, we should be probably pretty tough. 107 all the way through about 139.
Yeah.
We should be, every single weight should be, you know, there might be a little shuffling, but even the guys right behind them are pretty tough. That's where we're kind of deepest as well. So look for all these guys. Not sure where they're all going to end up, but you know, it's going to be kind of a good 4 or 5 weights in a row there in our lowers. And then junior RJ Renardi, youngest of the Renardi boys. He's looking like he's finally over 170.
Yep.
I mean, thank God. Especially because that's the way he wrestles.
Yeah.
He's a brawler.
He reminds me, at captain's practice, I call him 220.
Yeah.
He runs like a heavyweight.
Yeah.
He walks around like a heavyweight, but he's nowhere near that weight.
Well, he mentioned yesterday that's no longer a weight class. Oh, so we got to think. Yeah, is he 215? He's like 285 doesn't sound right.
No, I got to find something else to call him because I called him 220 because when he runs sprints, he's moving, but it doesn't look like he's moving.
Yeah,
he was running like a heavyweight, and just been an inside joke with him since about 7th grade. I've always been calling him, you know, hey, you're going to be the heavyweight. You're going to be the heavyweight. Well, he never got that big.
Yeah.
And because I knew he was going to be bigger than both his brothers.
Right.
At some point he's going to be, and I think he is now. I think he's bigger than Jacob.
Yep.
So now it's just now he's just got to get the mental attitude that I'm here and I'm here to wrestle.
Yeah. So a section runner up last year at a man's weight, 160.
Yeah.
So and I think that was the same thing where it kind of clicked and he finally believed. We knew that, you know, the window kind of opened for him section wise to where he could take advantage of it. And the thing I'm most proud of with that kid is the fact that we threw him in against some real hammers here and there throughout the year. And by the end of the season, you couldn't keep him down. So when he was underneath, the inside stand up, just constantly turning in. That was a huge thing. You could actually see the mental toughness kind of play out in real time. And that was awesome.
And now that you said that, once you said that, because I've had RJ and Lane kind of running the captain's practice because Grant,
they're kind of seniority.
They're the older half, and RJ's always, let's work from the bottom. Let's work from the bottom. So he's been pushing the team to work that we're working from the bottom on goes, and it's not just a 5-second goes. He's like, no, 30 seconds. If anybody stops in that 30 seconds, we're doing push-ups. I'm like, all right, fine with me. I can enforce it. You tell me what to do. I just enforce it. So
that's good. Well, there we go. So he's going to be in the 60, 70 range. And then we're going to skip up to Blake Fitcher, junior. And last year was 195, probably could have gone down to 82. This year, man, with football, I don't know if you've watched the Huskies play, but Mr. 10 out there, the middle linebacker, Blake Fitcher, he's a full 220, 225 right now. Yeah. And with the new weight class, that means about 215. Okay. So
cut him down a little bit. Ooh, he's going to be pretty lean.
He always drops way too much. It's just natural. Yeah. Like the first 2 weeks of the season, he's going to drop 10 pounds easy of just, some extra. So, but it'll be cool to see because, I mean, he's got the height. Yeah. He's a good, 6'3", most likely. So yet again, another giant. But dedicated himself. He, after wrestling season last year, he threw for track and field. Mm-hmm. That was a big thing with Max Flemke as well. And Grant Lauer had already seen the benefits of it. But what Coach Stelter, Coach Egremont do for them over there, I mean, that lifting program, that's perfect for our bigs. I would encourage that, if you have kids and they're on the, whether or not it's like middle school, they start cutting or what have you, they're doing track and field all the way down through middle school now. Okay. And like that, the production of that athletic skill and acumen is doing so many good things. And so Blake, that was great to see. He's one that you may not notice it, but like, honestly, he's still has so much more potential to tap into technique wise. Yes. So for him to do as well as he's done and basically have a much, much higher ceiling, I'm really excited for that.
Yeah. If he, I have a few things I would like to see him do a little more of. We'll just keep that in our own room. Sure. But as soon as he starts doing that, I don't think anybody could stop him.
Yeah. Yeah.
For his size, he'll be definitely a place winner if he actually does certain things.
Yeah. He is so fast and athletic for his height and weight. So, and now he's got some real strength, some real man power behind it too. And then on the girls' side, we have two returning state qualifiers. One, the state place winner, Miss Aaliyah Fitcher. But first, I'll say Isabel Townley, former state place winner from 2 years ago, then a state qualifier last year. Going into her, sophomore year. Yep. No, junior.
Oh, okay.
Junior, yeah. You know what throws me off, Isabel? The fact that you haven't gained 20 more pounds for me, okay? You keep being around 114, I'm going to think you're a ninth grader. I don't know. Yep. We're just joking about that yesterday. But she's been hitting the weights hard. She made our Black Shirt Club, which was spring lifting, summer lifting, fall lifting, and also does pole vaulting for track and everything. So she stayed plenty active over the off season.
And she's been at every practice too. I wish, she, as a junior, I'm trying to get her to speak more. Yeah. She's been around long enough and everybody knows her. In the team, she's just like this little mouse in the corner, just waiting to destroy somebody. It's like, who wants to practice with me? And it's, trying to find somebody her size and her ability in there. It's like, okay, these boys are too big. These guys are too small. We need to find, I wish, we had a few more about her size in there. But I know her and Kaden go rounds. So, and it's good for her.
It is. She hangs with, the varsity small batch of wrestling every single year. Like she's just right there. Just one tough. Of the toughest competitors. Yeah, just tough. Her nickname is Face Ripper, which for who she is, and if you know her and how polite and quiet and everything like that, you're like, why? Well, you don't see her warm up for matches. Holy crap. She wants to kill people.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, especially her brother, Trevor.
Yes. that was the first comment that captain's back. Do I get to wrestle him?
Right.
No, you two just fight.
Right.
Move along.
You can fight in the car on the way there. And then, fifth in state last year, returning state place winner, only an eighth grader, Miss Aaliyah Fitcher, who's been crazy active this offseason. Yes. You've been right there for her.
Yeah. So this year she went into freestyle and Greco and went at it hard. during the open tournaments, she had to wrestle boys. There was not really just a designated girls tournament for freestyle. But they're all open tournaments. It wasn't a big deal. Then she went to state. She wrestled the girls division and the co-ed division.
Okay.
The co-ed division didn't pan out too well. I mean, there was some pretty stiff competition.
She's
there.
145-ish. Yeah. So, I mean, she's a real weight.
Yeah.
You know?
And these boys they were there for business. Yeah. But the girls division, nobody touched her in the state for her age. Nobody even, I don't think anybody scored on her at state. And then we went out to regional nationals. And she was only going to come out to wrestle freestyle.
Oh, okay.
Or no, Greco, because she had a lacrosse tournament that she was going to go to. So she wrestled freestyle. She went out unranked. We went out there unranked, and first round she won by pin. Second round was against the number 1 seed, and everybody, this number 1 seed, she was good, and Aaliyah ended up tech falling her. Oh, and I had refs that from other states, who is this girl? Because this other girl is well known by everybody.
Sure.
So she ended up taking first in Greco. And then since her lacrosse tournament was canceled, I got her in for freestyle for the next day. And first round, she had the number 1 seed again and ended up tech falling her again. And decided to win Greco and freestyle out at regional nationals. And then she ended up going on the girls storm team. I want to say it was Tulsa or Utah, one of the two. It was actually the Minnesota team. She went down there and went 16-0 with 15 pins. Jeez. So that's Greco and freestyle together. So 7-8 or 8-7. But yeah, there was only one girl that she did not pin. Wow. And so she's putting in the time for the practice. Yeah, I can't wait to see what she can actually, when she's now going to be, I think she's a cadet this year. So she can actually go out to the big Fargo tournament and see what she can do. I had other refs from Iowa and Wisconsin going, can't wait to see her out in Fargo. And I'm like, yeah, me either. Yeah. Right. So I wish a lot of other kids in general, boys and girls that ain't in another sport. And Aaliyah did other sports. Right. She also did lacrosse. Right. She was on varsity. So there was that, you can do both. But, if she continues with whatever she does, she's going to excel at it because she puts her mind to it. And the only thing we got to do is keep her off of bulls. She wants to bull ride really bad. And we got to keep her off. She can ride her horse, do her barrels. Yeah. We got to keep her off of bulls and broncs. So, well, and all that went well. And then in school, she rolls her ankle in Phi Ed class. Yeah. Survives all these horse riding things, all that type of stuff. National tournaments everywhere. But just skipping, she rolls her ankle. Yep. So, Aaliyah, come on. But, so, in general, I'll say this is another, just talking about like goals and expectations. This is a year where we're still young, 2 seniors, some large, but yet junior, senior classes that haven't quite taken that next step. So we'll see. Yep. It's looking promising. But basically, in terms of even this section, we're probably going to have 5 section teams in and out of the top 10 rankings at any point in time this year. This is Faribault's peak year. They even said, like, this is the year we've earmarked for a while, and then it's a drop off after. Yeah. Northfield is peaking this year. Mayo is kind of on the same trajectory with us. Mm-hmm. They won it last year, but honestly, you could probably point to Northfield suspensions last year. They would have been the team to beat. And so, we're looking forward to that next step because honestly, we have a lot coming up. We have a lot of good depth that's kind of bottlenecked in those lighter weights, and we need those kids to spread out. Yep. Because our JV is still hammering people all the time. Yep. So it's like our middle school is winning a lot, our JV's winning a lot, our high school is still like we're all compact into it's spread out. Right. So the section now reminds me of like it back in the late 80s, early 90s. Right. When 5 out of the top 10 teams were in section 1. Yeah, Albert Lee came back up. So they took the very, very overloaded class 2A and made some teams spread out because the disparity between how many AAA and AA teams was a lot.
So Albert Lee came back up. So really, it's Albert Lee, Northfield, and Faribault are going to be the biggest, hardest competitors for us. But it's wrestling. It's a war of attrition. How healthy are you? What's your depth?
Injuries.
Injuries. All that type of stuff comes into play. And so
grades.
Yeah, we love what we're building. And in every single year, our numbers now are in the mid 40s in the high school room. Whereas when I started a few years ago, it was like at 30. So we're loving that. And the fact that we have put that the culture shifted right away, which was great. And then next is the weight room, the dedication to that, which has come along nicely. And yeah, we're seeing the benefits of it. We're seeing the transformations, and we're just really excited about it. And then, hey, we're in a new high school. So
we started off with a bang.
What's that?
We got to get it going with a bang.
Yeah, exactly. So we have a new wrestling room. And so I would say it's probably the softest mats.
I like the mat.
Oh, it's so nice with a foam underlayment on it. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. It's slightly smaller in square footage, but no pillars. It's a very open concept. We're excited about all the little amenities associated with it personally. And then, the weight room is D1 grade.
Yeah.
I was just at UMD on Friday on a college visit for my daughter, and our weight room's better. Yeah. Like our athletic facilities are better.
I walked in there for the first time walking in here, and I was just like, wow.
Yeah, it is phenomenal. And so we've had a lot of dedication to that. We've been lifting in the mornings before school multiple times a week between middle school kids and high school kids. We've consistently had 16 to 20 kids lifting 2 mornings a week it's hard to get those kids going. That's at 6:15 in the morning, and we are dedicated. We're all carpooling as parents and getting kids back to the middle school. So there's a lot of good things happening, and we're trying to figure out new ways to keep lifting throughout the season. And then the gyms, if you haven't been to a volleyball game or anything like that, or there's been some dance concerts, the gym setup is also incredible. So we have the federated gym. That's the competition gym, the really good hardwood. That's where our home duels and tries are going to be. But then also at the auxiliary gym, we figure we can probably get another 6 mats in there. So in terms of like our Stockwell tournament, our Min USA stuff, our Davis duels in January, we can finally, and actually we got volunteered by the conference. We are hosting the Big 9 JV conference tournament. So that's what happens when you have a good facility.
Yes.
So we should be able to host some real tournaments.
Yes.
And that's great to see. We were limited with that old high school setup, just
gym
with
space.
the gym space
and
alone.
Time.
Yeah. So now, we have the facilities, we have the concessions, the foundation room can be used as a staging area. The wrestling room is directly across from the Augs gym. So a lot of good access that way. And we're excited about that. So first season, look out for that. And then, OMS, you've seen a lot of these kids.
Yes. We've had quite a few actually showing up for the OMS captain's practice. I actually intertwined them with the high school kids, and they're doing just fine with the high school kids. There's a lot of, we got a lot of new kids that have come to captain's practice, and I had to, let them know that this is more base. This is what your future is going to look like.
For sure.
For practices, don't get deterred by how many sprints the high school kids are doing. You guys ain't doing that many. I know they think they are, but the way I have them set up, there's 7, 8 of them in the junior high lines, and there's 4 in the high school line.
Sure.
But when I say goal, they think they're doing just as many. Well, they're not. But they're doing it. We got to, on last Thursday, I had 4 new girls show up, which is kind of hard to, by myself, describe and explain stuff to them. And they've never wrestled. And I'm like, well, I got 30 other kids. I got to keep moving. Yeah. Just let's work this out. I go, this is not how practices run. In practices, we'll take care of that.
Yep.
During the off season, with the lifting, you've had quite a few of them in there.
Yeah. Well, and to the point of, as the season was approaching, had a lot of parents be like, well, can we keep this going? The middle school lifting. High school, we already do build that in 3 days a week. But can we keep the kids lifting throughout the middle school season? So on the fly, I'm working with Coach Egermont and Coach Ginther to figure that out, to have them lift basically at the beginning of practices and stuff like that, because there is that focus now. They're addicted to it. I love that.
Yep. And so this summer we had I had two that stand out that went to tournaments. I mean, there was quite a few that were at practices.
Sure.
But Miles and Gabe.
So Miles Ozzie and Gabe Robb.
Yep. So Miles continued and wrestled all the way to he actually made the schoolboy team.
Oh, nice.
So he made the team. He made it out to regional nationals. First, the Greco part of it. He was more of a defensive wrestler, and that I had to change him on that. He was trying to counter in Greco. You can't counter in Greco.
Sure,
You're going to get beat, and he did. But I can say this: the two kids that tech-falled him in Greco, he came back, tech-falled one of them, and just beat the other one in freestyle. And it wasn't because, he could shoot on the legs. No, he just was on the attack side rather than the counter side.
Yep.
And he ended up in fourth in freestyle after beating a kid that, honestly, sorry, Miles, but manhandled you in Greco because you tried countering his throws, and that doesn't work.
Right.
So, and then Gabe, he's been putting in the time, I know, up at Pinnacle, and he would come to our practice one day a week and then go to his 2 Pinnacle practices.
Oh, sure.
And I know Miles has been to Elite on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
They're putting in the time, and I'm hoping that Miles can put on a little bit of weight, get a little bigger. He's got everything there except for his size.
Yeah.
So it'll come. Just one of these days, all of a sudden I'm going to look at him. He's going to be looking me in the eyes. I'm like, okay, now you're big.
I mean, both of his brothers ended up like 5'9".
Yeah,
they're
5'9", 5'10". They're giants compared to me. I see one of them.
They're definitely 7 feet.
Yeah, so 7 feet.
Yeah, so you'd think that's going to catch up.
Yep. So, but yeah, no, middle school, I know me and Coach Ewell are looking forward to this.
Yeah. And you'll have Dave Nelson back and Mr. Scott Pressegard, who was helping out a lot in like the NYWA season last spring and stuff like that. So, yeah, a lot of good things happening in the room that way. And to anyone watching, that is still such a great window to sign up for at the middle school age. It's not like hockey where you need 8 years of skating prior. You just need to show up. It's the easiest sport to catch up in from a standpoint of just, hard work, conditioning, and a good attitude, just being, willing to learn. So that's great in that respect. And then I want to review the Owatonna Wrestling Association Youth, which that's why we're in here. They're practicing in that new wrestling room. And so we are so impressed. Our OWA Youth Director, Mr. Zach Spindler, he's writing a love letter to my heart, which is being crazy organized, writing up all these plans and processes and, just absolutely crystal clear direction to the coaches he's recruited and everything like that, and doing things the right way. And that got our participation K through 5 over 100 wrestlers. So over those 6 grades, we're always looking for about 20 per grade before it starts funneling at the high school. And so that puts us at about 17 per grade right now, which is good. We're on track.
We're on track.
That's up growing. 30% from last year. So that's been cool to see. The atmosphere, the attitude, the culture is all going the right way. We had a chance to meet before the season and kind of do some coaches clinic stuff to talk about culture, things that we are expecting that we do as a whole all the way from K through 12, so that it doesn't seem like separate programs or anything like that. What the base we're setting at that youth program is something that we build off of as we go up. So trying to take the initiative from like our really good football teams here in town, basketball, other programs like that too. So, and then one thing that went really well last year is bringing back the Friday Night Rumbles, and especially too. So if you have a little one that's not sure about wrestling and doesn't want to go to tournaments, not maybe ready for tournaments, we're totally about that. In fact, some of our, storied families like the Meggers or the Scalas, those guys with their own kids say the same thing. Like, they're not ready. I don't want to subject, it's a learning process. So these Friday Night Rumbles we talk about at the middle school, It's just trying to get kids used to kind of the stage fright.
Yep, the atmosphere of
a
lot of screaming moms.
Right, yeah. And then we started partnering, and we did this a few years ago too, and we brought this back, but started partnering with other teams, bringing them in. They loved that as well. As far as the atmosphere is just learning, having fun, and introducing them to the social aspect of wrestling, because it can be a little daunting to be out there by yourself on that,
Yeah.
So
you walk into a tournament that you've never wrestled in before and you're like a deer in the headlights. I mean, we know one person on that state qualifiers that happened to.
Yep. Pretty drastically. So no, that's been good. And then, so with, this is, I guess, tied back down to the new wrestling room aspect. So to give you an idea, if you're an Owatonna Wrestling alum or a family member of alum, what we're doing is, it's not like we are throwing everything away or anything like that. We just had a fundraising event where people could come down and claim, put a bid down for team photos, team awards, or if you had individual accolades for Guts Club, 100 Wins Club, any of those, you can just reach out to us through our Facebook page or info@owatonnawrestling.com. Either way, we'll be able to hook you up with that. If you are a part of a state place winner, so if it was you, your parents, your grandpa, what have you, I am personally working on the project to reproduce and get plaques up for every single one of our Minnesota State place winners going all the way back to the 1940s. Tallied it up, we have 117.
Oh.
Okay. So we had to size down those, 2x3s down to a little bit more manageable size. Yeah. But we're going to have an entire wall dedicated just to the state place winners. And like I said, that's already over 100. Yeah. And so we're looking for digital files. I would encourage you, my email address is out on the Minnesota State High School League website, or if you go to those same things, the Facebook page or info@owatonnawrestling.com, it'll still make it to me. And then we can connect. I can get the digital files and we can get that uploaded. So, it's been a big project, the move and everything like that. But we're getting there, and it's just going to take a little time because if you're not really closely tied to like the football program or volleyball or whatever, everyone's been on the fly. Like we just got mats 3 weeks ago. Yes. It's been a scramble all around for the district. Of course, the main focus was not the athletics part of it, but getting the classrooms up and going by September. So we're now getting settled in and everything like that. So give it time. But the walls are bare right now, but they won't be.
I mean, congratulations to Zach.
Yeah.
He was the first one to have a practice in our new room.
Yeah, there you go.
I thought I already had a plan set up. I thought I was having captain's practice in there. I was going to have all the kids. We're going to take a big selfie and make sure I had a big picture on the wall when you walked in.
Sure.
Saying first practice in the new room, but but I didn't accomplish that. We had to go to the middle school.
Yep.
So
sorry about that. But yeah, so like I said, don't hesitate. We our OWA Alumni Relations Director is Mr. Scott Prestigard. He's really taken initiative that way too. It's why you see, with your help as well, but some alumni come on the podcast that haven't been involved with the program in a while, and we encourage that too. Reach out if your dad or mom is shy, get them on here. I think it's safe to say that as nervous as people are beforehand, they settle in. You're talking about something you enjoy. You're talking about your passion. It's easy. Yep.
And then also, we don't have it with us, but we are doing a gun raffle for the OWA.
Yep.
Probably get a hold of a coach or a board member. The tickets are being distributed. We were supposed to have one here tonight, but he did not. He had work issues to get here.
He being Mike Megger. So if you know the Megger Funeral Home, you can go right in there and demand.
All right, I wasn't going to throw him under the bus.
No, Michael Megger, Mike Mike. Yeah. So
he's got the tickets. We're all, as far as I know, all of us coaches and everybody's going to be getting tickets to sell.
Yeah.
All proceeds go to the Wrestling Association.
Absolutely. And we appreciate it. And if you're also interested in being a sponsor of this podcast, our posters that are coming out, being on the back of t-shirts, anything like that, don't hesitate to reach out. We always appreciate that type of support. So with that, going forward, we're going to have weekly podcasts. We record every Monday, and recapping the past week action from high school on down, and then bringing on some kids who hopefully don't get too shy on the mic.
Yeah,
so
they can talk.
Exactly. But thank you to Coach Hovden here, and thank you again to Summer Media Solutions. Awesome. Once again, I mean, just an absolute class act. Mr. Scott Summer, he knows every. I mean, it doesn't matter, podcast, video, photo, whatever it is. The guy's a dynamo, and you can review all the things that he put up on our YouTube page too. Owatonna Wrestling has a great YouTube page as well. So, thank you much.
Well, we'll till next time.
Awesome. Take care.